Blabberbrains.
How did you get started in all this? I mean, where did it take off from you? Was it something you lucked into? Is this something you progressed into? Where did that all start?
Well, let's see. We'd have to go way back because I'm really old. But I'll give you a couple of snippets just to give you an idea how it kind of got that way. My first job at 17 was working in a Christian bookstore in the 80s, and became a manager. Sold tickets to concerts, helped, at merch tables and things like that. While I was doing that, went to Christian booksellers conventions, met a lot of the bands. Watched debut of This Means War with Petra, and got to meet Petra at that, back then, nice. And met all the authors, and so anyway, I kind of got into it then and got my feet in it. But then after we finally began to start our family, which it took us 11 years to start our family, not on our own choosing, but Lord's
not everybody
timing.
Has that kind of fortitude. Trust me. Some might say you're lucky.
Yeah. Well, we were very blessed finally to have 2 children, but I retired from the Christian the Christian bookstore, and continued, of course, listen to Christian music and that sort of thing. But that was kind of the first stages. And then we got into ministry, and then my husband was a minister of youth, and we would go to events and things. But I don't think really things took off doing to kind of the things that I'm doing now until we started going to concerts with our kids when they became teenagers. I'm going to take these off now.
Go ahead. Yeah, you're fine.
When they became teenagers, I think the first thing that sparked it was we went to see Skillet about 10 years ago, and the kids had been wanting to go really bad, and so we went, fell in love with the whole, the pyro and the whole thing. I was like, man, we've been missing out, And so
they put on a show. They know how to put on a show.
Yeah, I don't care, they always put on the best shows. So anyway, my daughter began to draw pictures of Skillet. Ended up, Ben Kasica used her art for their podcasts. The intro that with the on the podcast where they had the cartoons, those were her drawings, and so we got to know Skillet, and it just blessed my heart how they mentored her, Corey and Ben. I still email Ben every time something happens in her life, because I feel like she's now a graphic artist, right? And it started with him investing in her. Oh, awesome. And so that was one of the things that endeared me to bands. And then as things began to progress, we started going to others, and the next big milestone, I guess, that really started catapulting me into the Mothership ministry was I went to see my friends Decyfer Down and The Letter Black, which they recognized me, but I was just a regular fan at that point. I had not.
Pittsburgh band, by the way. They live in Uniontown, Pennsylvania, just south of where I live here in Pittsburgh. So nice. Yeah. Well,
I went to see them, but it was Brian Head Welch band at the time, Love and Death, was there, and I fell in love with them. I had never listened to Korn. I didn't know his whole backstory, but I especially fell in love with J.R. Bareis, which was the guitarist. He was 15 years old, and I was just so fascinated with this little kid that was playing with him. Anyway, it progressed. I'm having to leave out tons of stuff, but anyway, I ended up, because his mother kept talking about how they were eating badly on the road, and I started seeing what was happening and what the needs that they had, and that they were sleeping in Walmart parking lots, and they weren't eating good food. And I was like, somebody needs to do something. And usually when you have that kind of a thought, it means it's you that needs to do something. Right. So I started fixing them snack bags and meals and different things. And I began to meet other bands while I did that, because I fed everybody on the tour. I didn't, just because I brought food to them, I wasn't going to not feed everyone else. Right. So I started bringing them food and stuff. And then JR's mom on a Facebook one day says, "Oh, when he's in Atlanta, you're his Mothership." And everybody goes, "Ooh, you need to own that." And so she birthed it.
Lo and behold.